guess what happened today?
Hey guys, before I get into all the details about what happened next, I want to give a huge shout out to my husband because over the years, he has been not a fan of the pools or the beaches, and you know that's my thing. But when this thing came to our door, I said, babe, I have to take this thing serious and I got to do the work. And in November, he decided to put all feelings aside, and we have been in the pool and really working out. And we've been unstoppable ever since. So let me continue with the details.
I've been waiting for this. And it's hours later from when it initially happened. So my response was, I got a little teary-eyed. I think I was more excited than ever because usually I would just be falling apart. But in short, last year, May 13th to be exact, because I'll never forget the day, because I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't they call me? I had the lab work done, I think May 4th. And I'm like, they waited until after Mother's Day, and then they called me after. And here was this call from the medical assistant that said that your number came in and you're pre-diabetic. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, but it's okay. You just have to lose weight. You know, you'll be fine. You'll be okay. And I immediately just was floored, and I cried, and I called a friend. And I called a friend who knows me in a different way, and we had some experience with these conversations, right? And I was like, I just need to just talk to you about this. And one of the things that they said was, you know, it's okay. You got this. And once you walk through this, you've never had, you know, health problems. So you'll walk through this and you'll have the experience. And ever since I've known you, you've never given up. And this time you'll do this and you won't give up. And you'll do this and you'll come out of it. And you'll be able to help others, right? And after that, I was like, man, okay. All right, and I took it. And I've only shared it with, I think I counted the number, because I was like, okay, there was a few people that knew about this. And I've been walking through and making drastic changes. So you guys see me making drastic changes. And I'm talking about this, and I'm talking about that, and I'm working out, and I'm doing this. And I'll give you the whole rundown of everything that this year encompassed, right? But then I get to November and I go back, and you know, she's like, okay, look, here's a new doctor. The new doctor was in April. This happened in May. And she says, okay, I need you to come back in November. She runs the labs again. I'm so sure that this number is going to go down. I was so sure. And the number stayed the same, 5.8. And at that moment, she says, okay, well, what do you want to do? You want to get a dietitian? I go get a dietitian. And I start to, you know, figure it out, pull it apart. You guys have seen me just pulling apart, and I have conversations. In this entire year, I've pulled apart from everything that seemed normal to me to face this, because I did not want it. I'm a medical coder by career. And so I know what this does. I see all of the manifestations and different things. And I mean, when I got in deep. I went and got books. I started to look at videos and just different things, because I was like, no. So now we're at the 5.8 again. And then so I call another friend, and I said the number didn't go down. And she said, it's okay. The number will go down the next time. And I said, okay. And I held on to that, like this quote that was given to me, not verbatim, but, and I'll have to credit Lanika and Greg Scott for this. But I remember one time being on a prayer call with them, and I believe it was Greg that gave this analogy of, like, if you keep jumping on a glass table, it will eventually break. And so I've held on to that mindset of, like, that doesn't mean, like, and it's the same thing with the scale, with everything. If I just keep on jumping and jumping and jumping on the glass table, it will eventually break. And so now that's November. January, I didn't do so great because that's when all of the flu and everything came in. And so the weight loss started to slow down. But what I noticed was that there was what I call, those were my months of maintenance, where I actually saw like, okay, you're doing this, you're still doing this, you're still the same weight, and everything's going on. And I started to dig even deeper. Like I started to like, we were in the pool. Al started to go to the pool with me in November. That was a drastic change. I started to look at different herbs, just things that I remember that people had told me over time, and just started to look over herbs, started to write things down, started to follow people on Instagram that was just strictly plant-based, and just get all of the chatter of all of that other stuff that I did not want, and put the stuff that meant the most in my face. So now we get to November. I'm supposed to go to the doctor's now in February, actually February the 7th. And I said, since I didn't feel great in January, is it a possibility just to move it? And my year with her was April 22nd. And we said, okay, that makes sense. Come back in April 25th. So today I go in, and I had the lab work done on Friday, but I told myself I was not going to look at the numbers because I needed this weekend to just decompress and just get ready for the 2 weeks in front of me, where I have to cover and do all this other stuff for coworkers, right? So I was like, I need my head in the game, and I just need to rest, and then I'll pick back up. And so I was tempted to look at it, but I was like, no. So I pull up at the doctor's office today, and I say to the poor Danny, I said, that's the medical assistant, and I said, listen, my pressure's up a little bit because I'm like, tripping in my head because I get nervous when I come in here. And she's like, I know. But one thing is, when I got on the scale, I was like, okay, because I have a whole sundress on, and I have a whole situation going on. Take off the flip-flops, take off everything, down to like, it would be a nightgown when I go in the doctor's office, just so I can get a close number to nudity, right? And so when I saw that number, I was like, all right, okay. And so I get in the office, and she says, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. And we're talking about my glasses, her glasses. And she's like, so I see you got some lab work done. And at that moment, I was like, wait a minute. She said that like, that's a good thing, right? And I said, yeah, I did. And she said, so guess who's not pre-diabetic anymore? And I'm like, get out of here. And she's like, yes, you dropped to 5. I said, no, I said, what's my number? She's like, Rhonda, you dropped to 5.4. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I said, if I start crying, got my mask on and everything. I'm like, if I start crying in here, don't pay any attention to me. She's like, no. She's like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you did it. You put in the work and you did it. And we began to just talk about, why it was so important to me, because she knows, family history and different things. And I was like, Heather, I just didn't want this, and I was like, how important it is. And I was like, and like, it was so much that went on with research. Sometimes I'm up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning researching different things to figure out what I need to do and pray about it, right? And put it in implementation, right? So I don't want to go too long, but I'm super excited. That's what happened. It's a year later, and that number is down. And I'll go back in 6 months. And when she suggested it, I didn't fight it because it's accountability. As I told you guys, my stickers, my Post-it notes, I said, okay, that's good. Because she said, let's just keep an eye on it. And I was like, okay. Because then that'll keep me accountable. Because like, if I know that I have to go back, you just don't get back into bad relationships with stuff that you have given up. So that's the excitement of today. And I told my daughter, I think I need to have an A1-C party. And right now in front of me is a salad with avocado and chickpeas. And I'm going to keep on moving because I have 25 pounds more to lose. That's what I put in my annual goals for this year. Of course, I know it'll be more than that, but I kept it like a reasonable, smart, measurable goal. And then I could just do what I need to do. All right, thank you much, and I'll talk to you guys soon.